Imagine a world where humans didn't exist. No words, no names, no selfies, just raw instinct and survival. Early hominins, our distant ancestors, roamed wild landscapes like any other animal, driven by hunger and fear. They weren't dreaming about the future. They were too busy staying alive. That's where our human story begins, not with civilization, but with survival. And the first faint echoes of that story, they're still out there, scratched and painted onto the stone walls of ancient caves, like time capsules whispering, "We were here." But to truly understand how we even got to the point of cave art, we need to rewind, way back. Picture Earth over 4 billion years ago. No trees, no oceans, not even air. Just a blazing hot planet, cloaked in fire and toxic gases, more dangerous than anything we see today. It was pure chaos, a world no living thing could possibly survive on. And yet, after millions of years of cooling and volcanic tantrums, something extraordinary began. Rain started to fall, oceans formed, and in those bubbling, mineral-rich waters, basic chemicals started interacting in just the right ways. From that chemical stew, life began. Tiny microscopic life, the first cells. We call them prokaryotes, and though they were simple, they were the ultimate survivors. They didn't look like much. No arms, no brain, not even a nucleus. But they were the spark that lit the fuse of evolution. Eventually, some cells leveled up. They became eukaryotic, larger, more complex, and capable of teaming up to form multicellular organisms. With that, life took off in a big way. Oxygen started to fill the air. Oceans turned into hotbeds of diversity. A burst of evolutionary creativity gave rise to weird and wonderful creatures. Fish with armor, jellyfish with tentacles, insects with wings. And for the first time, animals developed backbones. The vertebrates had arrived. Then something wild happened. Some fish began to explore dry land. Their fins slowly turned into limbs. Lungs evolved. These were the first amphibians, creatures that could live both in water and on land. It was a bold step, and it would change everything. Then came the reptiles, and with them, a new chapter in Earth's story. From this ancient class of creatures, one group slowly evolved that would go on to rule the planet like no other: the dinosaurs. Roughly 230 million years ago, the most jaw-dropping era in Earth's history kicked off, the age of dinosaurs. But forget the idea that it was just a bunch of oversized lizards stomping around. This was a dynamic, rich ecosystem packed with diversity. Each dinosaur had a role to play in nature's grand design. Take the massive herbivores, for example. Dinosaurs like Brachiosaurus, with necks so long they could casually snack from treetops. They were like gentle giants of the prehistoric world. They spent their days grazing in peace, but they always had to stay alert. Because where there's prey, predators are never far behind. Some plant eaters like Triceratops came equipped with built-in defense systems. With its thick horns and massive frill, it might have been peaceful by nature, but it wasn't afraid to throw down when threatened. And then, there were the carnivores, the nightmare fuel of the Mesozoic, Tyrannosaurus rex. The name alone sends chills. This towering predator had bone-crushing jaws, knife-like teeth, and enough muscle to take down just about anything that crossed its path. But don't sleep on the velociraptors. Smaller, faster, and wicked smart. These pack hunters relied on speed and strategy to outwit their prey. But not all dinosaurs stayed on land. Some took to the skies. Creatures like pterodactyls and the massive Quetzalcoatlus soared above it all. With wingspans so wide, they seemed to blot out the sun. These aerial reptiles weren't just graceful gliders. They were skilled hunters and long-distance travelers. And beneath the waves, prehistoric oceans teemed with their own set of reptilian rulers. The Mosasaurus, with its powerful tail and fearsome jaws, patrolled the deep like a missile with teeth. Plesiosaurs cruised through the waters too, their long necks slicing through the currents, as they searched for their next meal. Dinosaurs didn't just rule the land, they dominated the air, and the seas. For 180 million years, they were the undisputed kings of the planet. But no reign lasts forever. Around 65 million years ago, a disaster from space changed everything. A massive asteroid slammed into what's now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact unleashed energy on a scale we can barely comprehend, sending dust and ash high into the atmosphere. The sky darkened, the sunlight vanished, and just like that, the age of dinosaurs began to fade. As the dust from the asteroid impact settled, the Earth's temperature took a nosedive. The first victims? Plants. Forests withered away, and with no vegetation left to feed on, the plant-eating dinosaurs began to starve. And when the herbivores vanished, the meat-eaters weren't far behind. One by one, these colossal creatures, once rulers of land, sea, and sky, started disappearing. It was as if nature had hit the reset button, bringing an end to the age of giants. The great dinosaur dynasty had fallen, but out of this global catastrophe came a strange kind of opportunity. Earth, though battered, was now ready for something new. A different kind of creature was about to rise, a quieter, smaller kind that had spent millions of years staying out of sight, hiding in burrows, scurrying through underbrush, living in the shadows. These were the mammals. These furry little survivors had already been around during the dinosaurs' reign, but they were never the stars of the show. Until now, with the dinosaurs gone, the stage was wide open, and the mammals began to evolve, fast. Some grew bigger, others got smarter. They spread into every corner of the planet. Forests, plains, mountains, everywhere, and among them, a new branch quietly formed. Primates. They had grasping hands, sharp vision, and brains built for problem solving. These were the first hints of the incredible journey ahead. One branch of primates evolved into apes, and one group of apes eventually gave rise to something astonishing: us, humans. But it didn't happen overnight. Our ancestors didn't wake up one day and invent language or fire. It was a slow grind, millions of years of trial and error, adaptation, and survival. Early hominins learned to walk upright. This freed up their hands to use tools, a game changer for hunting, building, and eating. Then came fire, not just warmth, but protection, and the ability to cook food. Cooking made nutrients easier to absorb and helped fuel a growing brain. That brain kept evolving, getting larger, more powerful. And with it came memory, imagination, and eventually, language. Now we weren't just surviving, we were connecting, sharing knowledge, telling stories. And with that, human culture was born. We painted on cave walls, crafted tools, formed tribes, passed down legends. We started asking questions. Who are we? Why are we here? What comes next? And in that curiosity, in that hunger to know more, we became something more than just animals. We became human. From stardust, to single cells, to cave artists staring at the night sky. With bigger brains, they made tools, shaped their world, and explored far beyond their homes. And that was the beginning of us, humans.